Hey, this is Tony Smith. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
It's a party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
It's a party, baby.
On 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Happy Wednesday! Thursday! Welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. He is big-time Benny Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. Josh DiMaggio running the show. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. NFL schedule release tonight, except we already know the schedule.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
I hate it. Hate it.
Hate it too. Like, I don't mind it in the NFL draft because, like, when there's the spoilers, because I can just, like, not be on my phone.
But also the NFL draft, the spoilers come out a minute or two before the actual draft pick.
Correct. And what I'm saying is if you want to avoid that, you can avoid that. This, it's like, all right, well,
you have a full 12 hours to break down the schedule every which way you can. And fans should still tune in to our schedule release show tonight featuring Gabe Neitzel following us here across ESPN Wisconsin. Ben Brust is going to be the first guest of the show. So I'm not saying it's not worth consuming it tonight, but we already know the Packers schedule.
Yeah.
It's already been released on Twitter. And so it is a little bit anticlimactic to think about the schedule being released tonight because in actuality, the schedule's already been released for the Packers.
As like a release show, right? Like on TV, like how do you take yourself serious? You know what I mean? Like, all right, we're going to release the schedule. Everyone already knows the schedule. Like, they got to rebrand it.
They're going to break out the release, and then it's going to be like, what's the key matchups? Like, what are the big games? What are their favorite games? Brady's coming back to the home opener at Gillette. You know, like, there's going to be a whole lot of storytelling around it. And, yeah, they'll still act like, for the people who aren't on social media, of which there are some.
You would like to be one of those.
Oh, I would love so much to be one of those. I would love to find out what the Packers schedule is coming up tonight. Just like in real time.
I agree. There's like something cool about that. I don't know. Like, this is what's wrong. Is like, I can't blame people because I'm the person when there's a surprise. Like, I want to like give the gift before I'm actually supposed to give it. So in essence, I am what the schedule breakers have done in terms of breaking the schedule out before the actual schedule release party. But when I do happen to make it and not give a gift too early to a significant other, then like I feel really good about it. And it feels even more satisfying. So I just feel unfulfilled right now.
That's what she said.
In case you are one of the people who have not seen the schedule yet, Packers open up the season in Chicago at the Bears at 3:25 Fox broadcast on September 10th, the opening weekend of the NFL. They get the bye week in week 6. They get a Thursday night football game. They play on Thanksgiving at Detroit against the Lions. They've got 2 Monday night games, both on the road at Vegas on October 9th, at New York against the Giants on December 11th, and they've got 2 Sunday night football games, one at home against the Chiefs on December 3rd, the other on the road in Minnesota on December 31st. Now, mind you, those last three primetime games I mentioned are all in the flex zone. So if the Packers aren't in a position where they're commanding a whole lot of attention and they're taking on a team like the Giants who could perhaps fall off a little bit.
They could regress.
They could end up being flexed out. But so far, an interesting schedule. And a couple of quick notes on it. They've got 2 games at Lambeau through the first almost 2 months of the season. And both of them are in the same week. 5 days apart, taking on the Saints September 24th, then Thursday Night Football against the Lions on September 28th. Your next home game there is October 29th against the Vikings.
I hope Jordan Love is going to embrace the cold, baby. Because there is some sort of I don't want to say advantage, but like getting your feet under you at Lambeau. There's nothing like a couple of those nice fall days, noon or 3:25, like they have a couple early at home. I guess the Lions game is Thursday Night Football at night, but still, even in September at night, it's not going to be when you're seeing everyone's breath under the frozen tundra, under the lights, where you're going to see it later in the season. Look, here's my biggest thing with the schedule is now what everyone's going to do is, and we're probably going to do it too, so I know I'm guilty of this, is start picking out the wins and losses. But Greg, how many times do we do this, whether it's Badger football or Packer football? You circle a game in which you're like, oh, I can't wait for this game. This is going to be an intriguing matchup. And then somehow it becomes like the least fun matchup of the season somehow, whether it be injuries, whether it be the team aggresses. And that could be the case almost from a Packer standpoint. I'm not wishing for that, but like when the Chiefs come to town, like Rodgers, Mahomes, I'm sorry, Love Mahomes doesn't have the same buzz to Lambeau Field than Rodgers Mahomes does if Rodgers was still here. So that would be one I would normally circle. In a way, I've kind of just circled the first 4 games, right? The first 4 games is how you got to approach this as a Packer fan, because it is somewhat, I don't know, achievable to have like average to below average competition in terms of if you look at their first couple opponents. The Bears have a low over-under win total. The Falcons have an 8.5 win total. The Saints are around 8.5 on the win total. The Lions are around 9.5. Like those are not teams expected to win 10+ games for sure. And so for those being your first 4 games, I think you got to chunk it out and go with those first 4 games before you start just counting the rest of the season, because you, as a Packers team, have those unknowns.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. I don't want to chunk out the first 4 games. I want to focus on game 1. They open the season in Chicago at the Bears, 3:25 start. Put on your bookmaker's hat. What's the line? You set the line, 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Are the Packers favored in that game? Are they underdogs? Again, they're on the road taking on a Bears team that was the worst team in the NFL last year, picked number 1 overall, but they've got a quarterback in his 3rd year in Justin Fields that some people are high on. I'm not. Some people are. And a team that seems to at least be on the ascent. The Packers, meanwhile, coming off of an 8-9 season, get rid of their Hall of Fame quarterback, start Jordan Love in his 4th year in the NFL, but his 1st year as starter, and continue to build from the bottom up to see what they can be this year. What is the line? If you were to set it for that September 10th season opener for the Packers at Soldier Field in Chicago, 3:25. Fox, you think they're going to get the A1 broadcast team there? Is that Burkhardt and Olsen, you think?
I'd imagine, right? Like it's a big time.
It's the longest rivalry in the NFL.
We kicked off the 100th anniversary of the NFL on Thursday Night Football with Bears Packers no longer than like 2-3 years ago. So I'd imagine they'd have the A crew there with Fox's broadcast. I got this line at Bears -2.5. I think it's a perfect spot to try and to like entice the Bears can win by a field goal crowd, but also the Packers have own the Bears. And so you're going to find some people that are going to see value in the Packers getting points. And you're talking about the 2 teams in the division, which is funny, right? Like we're like Packers Bears, look at the A1 crew on the Fox 325 broadcast. Well, yeah, they probably will, but we're still talking about the two teams in the NFC North Division that are projected to go third and fourth respectively. Now that the schedule's out, the over-under win total's out, those all change. People blow those out of the water on win totals. Sometimes they underachieve, sometimes they overachieve. But we kind of know that both teams, the Bears are still looking to learn how to win. The Packers are going to be learning how to win with a new quarterback. So there's a fun uncertainty there where I think I just give the home team the favorite because it's basically a pick 'em in my opinion.
800-990-3776. Alan in Milwaukee says, I can't wait for the schedule to come out tonight because I'm hoping people can explain where the Packers are getting these flipping 6 wins from.
So, Al, do we break the news to Alan? We're breaking schedule news today. Or is he joking?
Listening to the show, I have to imagine he knows the schedule's out. We just read the highlights of the schedule.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like,
your tone, I didn't like it there.
it's dismissive because what you said deserved to be dismissed. Matt from Oak Creek chimes in and says, Brady, not Olsen. You missed the memo, Matt from Oak Creek. Tom Brady, in my opinion, will never be a regular color commentator for Fox.
He's going to call his own shots.
And he already said that if he is, then it's not going to start until 2024. So you get Olsen Burkhardt for another year. Ron in the Key says Bears -3.5. Also wonders if the Scalzo and Brust family heads to Vegas for that October 9th game with the Las Vegas Raiders. We will have a lot more to come on that, Rod and the Key and the rest of the Scalzo and Brust family. But you bet your ass that we're going to be working on getting to Vegas with the whole Scalzo and Brust family, as many of you as we possibly can. Billy from Tosa says, I put the line at Bears -2.5.
Hey, Billy and I are on the same page. What do you got, Scalzi?
Appleman in the Orchard says Packers will be +3. Fields will get 100-plus rushing yards.
Appleman, no faith in Joe Barry and the rush defense.
Ryan and McGuanago, I don't know if this is the line or just a prediction, but he says Packers by 100.
I think that's a good prediction.
Let's go to the official and unofficial backup left tackle of the Scalzo and Brust family. It is Mo in Illinois. Mo, welcome to the Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Mo, what do you got?
Well, you know what I'm enjoying, fellas? Waking up this morning, seeing that the Packers are opening up in Chicago. And as a Packer fan here in Chicago in enemy territory, it was music to my ears. What better way to start the season than have the ownership transfer to Jordan Alexander Love to assert his domination on this Bears organization for the next 10 years. And I can't wait to see it. The Packers are going to win by 7 points. I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful about that. This is going to be a start to a fun season, hopefully. I think the Packers will prove a lot of people wrong. I think if Jordan Love could develop the way that we expect him to, you know, the Packers might surprise some people. They're a young, hungry team. A lot of people are writing them off. Bustin Fields is not who people think he is, especially here in Chicago. You know, they kiss his feet every day and night. I can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to the game. Hopefully I'll be there too. And let's go.
Thank you, Mo in Illinois. A lot of excitement there. A lot of confidence in this Packers team. The ownership of the Bears transferring the deed from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Meanwhile, Allen's like, I don't know how they're going to get a 6 wins. I have no idea.
Is Allen? I think Allen's more pessimistic than me when it comes to this Green Bay Packers team.
I think I'm starting to get more optimistic about this Packers team next season simply because Ben bet Jesse Nelson one way, and I'm worried that we get the Brust mush here.
Yeah.
Aren't you worried a little bit about that?
I was going to bring that up to you, but I knew you'd figure it out on your own.
I mean, the Brust mush
as soon as
like,
I start getting really confident about something and
then
have
going 9 and 8 and catching
supporting
a wild
evidence to why it's going to happen,
it's the setup
which
for
is what
failure.
Normally like somebody good at this would do, it goes wrong for me. We have that. I know we have countless examples of.
800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. You heard Mo from Illinois. He's going to be close by Soldier Field for that game as the Packers open up their season in Chicago against Justin Fields and the Bears. Put on your bookmaker hat. What will be the spread? What's your spread for that game? 800-990-3776. We'll talk with you, the Scalzo and Brust family, next on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You know what? I apologize. This Scalzo family's got standards. You could only kill one person.
Yeah.
Second time you're in.
I think that's fair.
I'm leaving.
You wouldn't go to jail for your kid or your wife? You wouldn't take the blame for him?
Hell no.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
An accident on 894 westbound at Loomis has got the right lane blocked with emergency crews on the scene. So be careful with that. It's going to be slowing you down all the way back through the Mitchell interchange. Also, southbound 894, an accident at Beloit Road off on the right shoulder. We do have some delays heading back towards Lincoln Avenue. And then one on 4394 southbound on the high-rise bridge off on the right shoulder. Now, we've got basically delays from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette, but those are pretty typical delays for this time of day. Westbound 94, heavy out of the Marquette towards Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 54. Tomorrow, scattered showers with a high of 65 at the lakefront, 71 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I'm back with Broken Bat Brewery's founder, Tim Pauly, who's going to give us the inside scoop on what's on deck this summer at Broken Bat Brewery.
Usually around 14 to 16 beers on tap, a couple more in cans available. We're super excited to launch a food truck partnership this summer coming in May. That'll be a 7-day-a-week operation, so we'll be adding food to the repertoire. And again, of course, we got the indoor wiffle ball field, man. You can rent it out for birthday parties, bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. If it's fun, you can't take it too seriously. It's legitimately a kid's game that you get to drink some craft beer with. And we're right in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, so I can't beat the location. Great beer, great staff. I can't beat it. That's Broken Bat in a nutshell.
Thanks again to Tim for all the insight on all the great things happening at Broken Bat Brewery. Remember, folks, whether it's games or not, the fridge is always stocked.
One's a Marquette Hall of Famer.
Who get more votes, me or you, for president?
The other may or not make things up from time to time.
You would.
Why would you just automatically say me? Who
There's
get more
nothing
votes,
that
me
I
or
do
Homer?
better than you. Nothing.
Homer and Tony.
Why would anybody
You
pick
do
me?
politics better.
That would mean that I'm not as good, but that I can just fake it or something.
Hey, there's your specialty. Making it up.
No.
You're in.
No.
You're hired.
I wouldn't vote for
You're
me.
elected.
I would vote
wouldn't
for me against you.
Weekdays 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN.
Your mother invested her life in you.
And she's extremely glad she did.
And there's another woman who believes in you.
Her life is all tied up in yours.
She deserves a diamond pendant that symbolizes the sparkling years she invested in you.
Because let's face it, you wouldn't be where you are without her.
And you need to get another diamond pendant exactly like it for the woman who is sharing her life with you today.
Diamond pendants are impossibly expensive. But Kessler's makes the impossible possible.
Just $149.
$149.
It's your way of recognizing that your life
and her life
are all tied up together.
$149.
You'll see the symbolism the moment you see the pendant.
And so will she.
Give her a diamond pendant for Mother's Day.
Impossibly priced at just $149.
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
Gabe Neitzel here on the tee, coming up on Monday live from Aaron Hill. Stephen Watson and I going to explain exactly why it is such a special place to us, why we love it, what makes it so special. Plus, with the second major of the year coming, we will preview the PGA all live Monday at Aaron Hills. It begins at 6 p.m. right here on 94.5 ESPN.
On the Tee with Gabe and Steven, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Mondays at 6 on 94.5 ESPN. You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
I needed this. I needed a Grateful Dead Thursday here on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it, Benny.
If you enjoy it.
That's right. He is Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. Josh DiMaggio
What is this
Jamming
one, Josh?
out, running the show here at the Gerber Lofts. This one called That's All Studios in downtown Milwaukee.
The song is Bertha. It is Grateful Dead at Olympia Theater, 1972.
So just
May
look for
3rd.
Bertha Live, though.
Yeah.
I like the vibe it's got.
We got young Riley Yauk running the show at the Everlight Solar Studios in downtown Madison.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got you, the Scalzo and Brust family, maybe the most important member of the show here. 800-990-3776. I think he took some of G's NyQuil, if that's what we're going to call it. 800-990-ESPN, the number to get into the show for you, the Scalzo and Brust family. Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust as well. Schedule has been released. Packers open up the season in Chicago at Soldier Field. I've got them at -1.5, the Bears, that is. I think the Packers will be +1.5 to start the season in the season opener. I wouldn't be surprised if they're favored, though.
I was going to say, I could see a flippage.
But I do think it's going to be right there. It could come down to a pick'em.
I could see it going down to a pick'em, back up to the Bears. Like, this is a game where I don't think anybody really knows what to expect from each team.
But the Packers, generally, you'd think, based on the fact that this team, and most of the team is still there, had won 13 games 2 seasons ago, and this Bears franchise has been dormant for the last handful of years.
And traded away assets, too.
Last year, traded away assets. They traded away 2 of their best defenders in order to rebuild for the future, which was the right decision based on the phase that they're in terms of team building. Joshy, do you think we're off base thinking that this Bears team will be favored?
I actually thought you guys were a little bit thin on the number. I thought it was closer to 3.5, because if you look at the team and how much Aaron Rodgers accounts for and how much he's always mattered to the spread for the Packers, it seems like they're pretty close on an even. I don't know if you could pick the Packers on a neutral site at this point. We just simply don't know enough.
I think Vegas would lead you to believe that from a line standpoint. Packers offensive line, defensive line, better than the Bears. Bears certainly have better offensive weapons than the Packers, which is the first time you could say that maybe ever. Like, I legitimately don't remember the last year you could look at it and say they've got better weapons in Chicago than they've got in Green Bay.
We can say this as well. I mean, the roster isn't significantly different other than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you lose Allen Lazard, but you get my point. They added more pieces. 8 and 9 Packers last year still swept the Bears.
What's tripping me up as well is the fact that most books, like I was looking at the Potawatomi Sportsbook today, they put Chicago as a favorite, as a higher favorite to win. They have a better chance of winning the NFC North, which confuses me then when you match them up. Like, where do they put that? How do they get there? How does that number end up there?
It actually kind of makes sense to me, because from a pure upside standpoint, if Fields takes another step in the right direction, he's got the legs, and they've got offensive weapons now where that offense can be dangerous. That defense is going to stink. Like, the defense isn't going to be good. It's not like they're a Super Bowl contender, but you're like, oh, if Fields is that good and has one of those pop seasons, and I think I believe that Jordan Love has the better chance of being a long-term successful quarterback in the NFL than Justin Fields. But I think Justin Fields' ceiling is higher than Jordan Love's because of what he can do as a pure athlete that's unlike anyone else in the league except for Lamar Jackson and Anthony Richardson at this point.
You know what the Bears and the Packers are? They're fighting to be last year's Detroit Lions. Like, I think they're both fighting to, like, again, from the Packers standpoint, it's because Jordan Love, you have a reset of expectations. The Bears were 4-13 last year. They were hot garbage. And so if they can, build in some winning into their identity, which has not been in their franchise identity for a very long time, that would be a win for them. For the Packers, that's why Josh, honestly, that's why the line I continue to go back to. As soon as I talk about the Bears, I just think about them from a historic franchise perspective. And despite like my negativity towards the Packers, in a matchup like this, I'm not willing to give the Bears laying more than 3 points in a game in which both teams are pretty equal and the Bears have advantages in places that they don't know if they can even take advantage of because of their quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's hard to guess right now just because I felt like you were watching the Bears lose on purpose last year.
Oh,
and I don't,
100%.
And I don't think that's going to happen anymore because, like, even that Packers game late in the season, like, they just stopped running the offense that worked for an entire half.
They approached it smart. They approached this season intelligently in the sense of we want to find our core players moving forward. We want to get rid of anybody that's not part of our 5-year plan and get assets back, and then we want to win in the draft. And, I mean, thank God for them, Houston ended up deciding to win their final game because the Bears ended up with a haul for getting that number 1 overall pick, which we found out was very important.
The only thing that the Bears did really stupid was try to kill Justin Fields by running him so much. Like, he got hurt a couple of times, and they still like, he was like, I want to go out there.
What else could they do? I mean, it wasn't until the trade deadline they got Chase Claypool. Otherwise, they were throwing to like the ghost of Tom Waddle.
My point is, at the point that he was coming back into games, they already knew that like they wanted to build around him, and so I think that's would be a win for the Packers if they see that they can build around Jordan Love. It's likely not going to be in the same style that Justin Fields did. It's going to be because of his arm strength and his ability to throw the football.
Ben's been really negative lately, hasn't he? Negative for the Packers, negative for the Bears, like just negative on all of them.
Am I negative on everything?
Lately, I feel like more than normal.
He's a Lions fan now.
He is a Dan Campbell kind of guy.
Yeah, because the Lions franchise really breeds positivity.
Mike in Milwaukee chimes in and says, Bears offensive weapons better than Green Bay? Nah. So here's the thing. I didn't say offensive line, but offensive weapons, there's no denying it. They've got DJ Moore, who's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. They've got Chase Claypool, who's more proven than anyone that the Packers have.
Even if it was a bad trade, he's still more proven.
You've got Mooney, who's a good
home run threat.
Who's a good 3. You've got Cole Kmet, who's probably about like Luke Musgrave isn't going to have a better rookie year than Kmet's going to have a 3rd year in the NFL in an offense that he's now been in for multiple years. Tight ends tend to not be productive their rookie years, no matter how great of prospects they are, how great they end up being.
Advantage Packers running back.
I guess, but also like they do because of Aaron Jones, but you've got Khalil Herbert, right, who's going to be going into his 3rd year, who's got good potential.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that they signed Deonta Foreman, who had over 900 yards rushing last year on the Titans with Derrick Henry.
Was he on Carolina?
Last year. That's 2 years ago.
2 years ago
where
he
did that.
Yes.
Yeah,
last year in Carolina. But he was productive in Carolina.
He's
when
been productive
CMC
everywhere he's
was traded, yes.
He is
you could
sort
just
of
say
that-
it was bulk carries because they stunk and he was just going to get the ball no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so he's got sub 4.5 speed, and he's A.J. Dillon. Like, they're the same player. They're both big guys who have sub 4.5 speed.
It's still advantage Green Bay.
I'm giving it to you, but I'm saying it's not as great as people might think because people think, oh, Montgomery's gone. He went to Detroit. So, yes, I do think that the Bears have better weapons. Let's go to Ron in the key here on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Ron, what do you got?
I'll be brief since it's a topic you guys hate. I mean, Josh and I are on a line, and you guys are on a different one. It seems like this is an easy bet.
What do you mean?
Josh and I take 3.5. You guys take 2. Closest one wins.
So what the line is
Black
set at? Are we betting on what the line?
This is the stupidest thing that he's ever.
Yeah, we're basically doing Bill Simmons' bit.
We're betting on what the line closes at, though, because it could change. Or are we betting on what it opens at?
I say we go at what it opens at. It's not that hard. We can pick it.
Yeah, but this thing
And
can,
Josh
this
and
thing
I are
can
on the same
open
side.
tomorrow.
This is
There's already
historic.
spreads out there, Ron, for the Jets, like Rodgers +3. I'm only doing this if this is closed.
We'll do it closed. I don't care as long as we get black chip action.
No one's ever going to settle this bet anyway. Thank you for the call, Ron, in the key. A 4-way bet based on proximity to the line that's going to be set. I do like the creativity. I like the effort.
Pretty convoluted.
A little bit convoluted. Logan in Milwaukee chimes in, says if Jordan Love comes out strong and wins 1 or 2 games at the beginning of the season, how long will it take for defenses to pick him apart from film? I have no idea.
Yeah, I was just going to say, your guess is as good as mine, bud.
I mean, will the league adjust to him? Sure, but you also have to plan on confidence helping guide him to be even more effective. So, like, it's that push and pull, and that's where you have to wonder. You've got quarterbacks who have had great parts of seasons and great moments. You've had quarterbacks who've had great seasons. You've had quarterbacks who have put together consecutively great seasons, and you've had quarterbacks who've been great their entire career. And we don't know what Jordan Love is going to be and is going to be this season.
Just know that Dennis Allen in week 3 is waiting for Jordan Love in New Orleans. And then Dan Campbell's waiting in week 4. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, film, like, one of the biggest things that I've always noticed was when backup quarterbacks would come in, right? It takes 1 or 2 weeks on film, and then, you know, you get after that guy. But we're talking about a guy who's supposed to be your starter. He's had 3 years to grow. I don't think it's apples to apples to be like, hey, in week 3, week 4, you'll have film. I don't know. I think there's just a lot that has to play out before we're jumping to conclusions.
I know you mentioned Man Campbell, and I know everybody's very excited about the Detroit Lions. You mentioned Dennis Allen and the Saints, who have to be the favorite to win that division, which just shows how bad that NFC South division is. But this Packers team does open the season up their first 6 games, none of which are against teams that made the playoffs last year. So if you want to be positive in terms of Jordan Love's foray into the NFL, you start Bears, Falcons. Neither defense is particularly good. Saints, Lions, I think Lions had a historically bad defense at points last year, and they didn't improve that secondary very much. They did get Jack Campbell, though, that middle linebacker, who's going to be the, potentially the modern-day Zach Thomas, if that still works 25 years later. And then they get the Raiders, who've got a bad defense.
Sucks.
And the Broncos have a decent secondary, but it's a bad team. So, like, and the Vikings, even, who they play in week 7, aren't a particularly great defense. That defense
Jordan Love
stinks.
for MVP?
And the Rams defense, no more Jalen Ramsey. They stink too. I mean, they don't play a really good defense. Now there's like 5 really good defenses in the entirety of the NFL, so it's easy to say this. But that Steelers game on November 12th, to me, is the first formidable defense that you really look at and say, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, they faced 2 historically bad defenses last year in the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. It's a pretty good way to get going, get some confidence.
Well, unfortunately for the Packers, it didn't go so well against the historically bad Detroit Lions defense.
It's Aaron Rodgers dragging them down.
No!
Is Joshy the most positive one in the show now?
Yeah.
Are we playing like, is this Bizarro World?
It is weird to see how happy he is just talking about this new era of Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to make you happy, Benny. Think about yourself in the pits, around the turns, vroom, vroom. Road America.
Opening weekend is next weekend, so get to roadamerica.com for your tickets. SVRA is coming, people. It's an amazing experience at Road America because you come for that experience and you stay for the race. It's really important that you get in your calendar and get this booked up ASAP because that's what you get. The SVRA Vintage Festival weekend is opening up the season. That's right. Opening up the season next weekend. We got racing here in Wisconsin with vintage race cars. It doesn't get any better than that. RoadAmerica.com for your tickets. That's RoadAmerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race.
Over under, 1 or 0 coming up next. Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Not as cool as the parade that I should have for winning CGL.
It's CGL. What does it stand for?
Closed Gyms League. You guys are... I'm going to swear on this show.
Scalzo and Brust.
Josh, you're lucky this is a remote.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
An earlier accident on 894 southbound at Beloit Road has been cleared out of the way, and the one on 894 westbound at Loomis that was in the right lane, that's now off on the right shoulder. It's still there. It's still being worked on, but at least it's out of traffic. We've also got one on 4394 southbound right on the high-rise bridge just past the smokestacks, off on the right shoulder. Things backing up all the way back through the Marquette, all the way up to Capitol Drive, actually before Capitol Drive. Westbound 94 going to be a slow one right out of the Marquette through the Stadium interchange to Mitchell Boulevard. And eastbound 94 slowing down from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with rain likely at 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch possible, a high of 63. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's time for you and that diamond to come alive again.
At the second annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Even if you have a good ultrasonic jewelry cleaner,
it can't match the pressurized steam cleaning we do at Kessler's.
Let us steam clean and polish your engagement ring.
For free.
I'm Joe Gerke, president of Kessler's, and we want to strip away all the soap scum that is making your diamond look dull.
For free. And while we're doing it, we'll inspect the prongs on your ring to make sure your diamond isn't about to fall out.
It's the second annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Here's another idea. Bring us anything you own that needs to be repaired.
And we'll give you a price to make it like new again.
And if you have some old jewelry you don't wear anymore,
we can make something unique and wonderful out of it.
Unique in all the world.
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increase cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their new patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside, no drafts. It's a game changer.
Get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and have everything installed in as little as a day. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And you know, there's more to being a local Wisconsin bank than perfectly pronouncing Oconomowoc or Waukesha. Or is it Waukesha? But rest assured, at Great Midwest Bank, we understand the local community and economy because we're a part of it. At GMB, we provide customized lending products that others just can't offer. Experience a hometown banking difference. Head to greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Take it, you can have it. What I got, baby, I can't hold. If you got the secret, tell me how to build a boat.
Here on Scalzo and Brust, a Grateful Dead Thursday. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. He is Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. Josh DiMaggio running the show. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting. We drop him off, Joshy? Thought we had somebody online there.
That was somebody who just wanted to talk to me.
Who was it? Was it Leroy?
I got fans. What can I say?
Play some Wonders Hero. You bum.
Are you a one or a
I got fans who like watching me, listening to me.
That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you a yes or a no?
Don't expect a call. I'm going to try to slip it in and be nice.
There's no such thing as a gray area. Life is binary. It's just a 1 or a 0.
He is Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. We're your contestants for 1 or 0. Josh DiMaggio, your host. He asks us a question. We say 1 for yes, 0 for no. There is no gray area. Joshy, take it away.
The Green Bay Packers will play 5 primetime games this season, including games on Thanksgiving, in Detroit, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve. 1 or 0. You like watching the Packers on holidays?
Do I like watching the Packers on holidays? Sure. I guess I'm a 1.
I'm a 1 here. Look, I like watching them on holidays. Do I wish that when, like, because usually the holidays on like the Saturday or the Thursday, right? Like, I like it in the moment, but then I'm sad because on my weekend I just want the Packer game on a Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it on the holiday.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, some holidays things just get carried away. Some holidays it's perfect to have the Packers on, and you never really know until you're in it.
Right. That's why I put it on here, was because I like football on those holidays. I don't like when I have to be invested in it, because you don't know if you're going to need to travel, like what's going on in the house at that moment. Like,
Good point. And when they're on at the holidays, like whether you like it or not, you're going to be like, all right, when the Packers start at blank, I'm going to sit down and watch it. And then you're still wrapping up. Somebody's talking, standing in front of the TV.
Or if they end up having dinner, right? If I go to my in-laws' house.
They're not planning around Greg's schedule.
Who are the best. There's going to be 75 people at Thanksgiving.
Who are the best. Nice
75 people at Thanksgiving. If they fire up dinner like during like the game,
throw it on your phone.
What am I supposed to do?
You throw it on your phone or track on the ESPN app.
I mean, I'll figure it out.
1-0. The Packers will have less primetime games next season.
0. Look, Packers are a big time franchise in the NFL. Packers fans are everywhere. They're going to command prime time, and I don't think that it'd be hard for the Packers to be worse in 24 than they are in 23. Like, I think that if you want to look at whatever it is positively, they're set up to at least, again, be a team on the ascent. Now, where's the starting point, and how quickly will they ascend? That's what we'll find out together, but I don't see how, unless Goody really messes up, how 24 is worse than 23.
The Packers are plus 6,500 to win the Super Bowl. Like, who would put they should be plus 10,000. I don't get it. Like
they don't do that. Like, there's no reason for the books to do that.
Attract as many bets as possible there. They're not going to win the Super Bowl.
If you're betting 6,
I put them at plus 20,000 if I was a book. Maybe that's why I'm not a book.
And then what? You've got, like, I don't think you're getting as much money as you'd expect, and the liability on it would outweigh the benefit.
You're my cost-benefit analysis guy.
Yep. You make fun of me reading. You can't talk.
Oh!
The first game of the NFL season will be the Chiefs hosting the Detroit Lions on Thursday, September 7th. 1-0. The Detroit Lions are good enough to open up the season.
I've got a 1-0 within this 1-0. This is from I don't think it's Jason and Madison, but it does say my brother Benny, and that sounds quite a bit like Jason and Madison. 1-0, Ben. You know what position Dan Campbell played in the NFL?
0. Had to be offensive line.
Tight end.
Close
he
enough.
says, Dan Campbell, Benny, you do know Dan Campbell was a tight end and not a defensive guru, right? You just think his motivational abilities.
Trust me, their defense was dog water.
0, the Detroit Lions aren't good enough to open the season. I do think they're a fun story and a fun team, and I do like that the NFL opens this season up with the Super Bowl champions. I think that that's a tradition that should be something that is every year, because it gives a time for the home fans. They do the whole celebration thing, and just like do it. Just do it. That's the opening night. You celebrate last year, you put a bookend to it, and then boom, you've got the whole weekend.
I agree with that portion of your take, but 0, the Lions are not good enough to open up the season.
That's what I said.
Oh.
I was interested in this because
what?
The Lions are the. Yeah, we can wait for him.
Just keep going. You're good.
The Lions are like the ascendant team people are making bets on, but also we all know the NFL wants offense. And if you're going to put a team out there, it's the Detroit Lions.
I mean, but the Lions, I love that the Lions are going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
The draft told us everything we need to know about the Lions. They are going to crash and burn.
I've been screaming bet the under on their season win total all offseason. Adam Schefter tweeted a graphic that detailed the most miles traveled of all 32 teams throughout the 2023 season. The Packers have the second least amount of miles with only 11,956. The Bengals are below the Packers with 14 less total miles traveled. 1-0. Total miles traveled matters when it comes to wins and losses.
1, absolutely. And again, positive Packers, right? We should do a whole show that's positive Packers show. Positive Packers. They've got one of the easiest schedules in the NFL this season based on last year's results. And they are not traveling a whole lot. I know people are like, oh, I wish their bye was a little bit more in the middle of the season, but I actually really like where their bye is placed because it gives them that first initial push. And I think with a young team like that, I like having the early bye because if you're going to adjust and you're going to get better, you can kind of hit the ground running following the bye there. Like the schedule is easy and it lines up well for this team.
Number 4, weak division.
Weak division. Well, that goes into the strength of schedule. Totally.
And like I'd also go with like I'm sure a portion of this. There's a reason why when I looked at the miles traveled in the bottom, I'd say the bottom 8 were all the NFC North teams. We're in the Midwest. Like the distance you're gonna have to travel to go west is not as far as an East Coast team, right?
Geography has been Brust.
All right. When I try and make an astute point that is very intelligent and you crap on me like that, I'm not going to stand for it at this point.
It's
moving
the
forward.
Midwest. You nailed it.
Look, I mean, travel times are going to be down when you're in the center of the country.
I think it matters less for this team. They're a little bit younger, a little bit more spry. But at the same time, I do think like stuff like that can add up. Like if you're flying all over the place, I think the Jaguars have back-to-back games in London, right?
I don't know if it's back-to-back, but they got 2.
There's one team this year that's got back-to-back weeks. Yeah, so like now all of a sudden that season becomes a little bit more of a bear. This Packers team just want to control everything and make it as simple and elementary as possible for everybody to sort of mature and get their reps in.
I have no idea how you guys are going to go about answering this, but 1 or 0. You travel 16,000 miles in a given year.
0 for me.
0 for me too.
Wait, no.
Ben.
1.
Ben. Oh, you're thinking about how many miles you put on your car?
Yes, sir.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm a 1, and I know for a fact because I know what my lease is.
How many miles do you have per year on your lease?
18,000.
Wow!
And I'm pacing over right now.
Wow.
Where are you driving to?
I mean, we live in Milwaukee. I'll go to Madison, Chicago. Girlfriend's got a place in St. Louis. I'm traveling king.
Ooh.
He also is scared of flying, so he doesn't like to do that. I'm kidding. You're not scared of flying. I'm kidding.
What's with you guys?
Nothing.
That was total unnecessary shot. Pat on the back to me.
I need a cigarette.
Dick in downtown, over under the amount of Scalzo and Brust fund puts on the Chiefs covering by -14 opening night. Dick has the Packers starting 3-0 and looking forward to getting the train back going.
Suck it, Dick. You're such a jerk.
Whoa.
With the arrangement of those words.
I didn't love that one right there.
It's his name.
I know it's his name. I know it's his name. Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra. There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue with your rigid routine. Or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends. Josh, you just had 3,500 of them down in Nashville because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. So enjoy responsibly. Keyshawn Johnson thinks that Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat.
Hot take.
Whose seat is hotter? LaFleur, Jordan Love, Brian Gutekunst. Plus, we'll keep talking schedule as we get ready for the schedule to be officially released tonight, even though we already know what it is. Scalzo and Brust.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
This can't be common. I heard a crazy story from a buddy I met. And he talked about he got a vasectomy and then his wife got pregnant. That's got to be awkward, huh?
I guess.
Right? Like, you get a vasectomy, you think it can't happen.
Yeah, that's been known to happen.
Jeez. How did he get that thing to 100? I guess chop him off.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine.
Discount Liquor.
Greg Scalzo here for Cedar Ridge Distillery. Their original 86 bourbon, the best-selling bourbon in Iowa for the 3rd year in a row. They've got the quintessential, one of the highest awarded American single malts of 2022, a top 8 whiskey of 2022 by wine enthusiasts, the best American single malt of the year by the John Barleycorn Awards, and also they've got a one-of-a-kind Scalzo and Brust private barrel bourbon and rye whiskeys available at Discount Liquor in Waukesha and Milwaukee, Steve's Liquor in Madison, and, of course, in Buck and Honey's. We made it for you.
Hey, this is Gary Ellison for my good friends at the Jewelry Center. It's the only place I go when I'm looking to get some new jewelry. Dean and his team are always friendly and know just what I'm searching for when I stop by. I may not always know what type of jewelry I want, but the professionals there sure do. Plus, if I need repairs on watches or other jewelry, the Jewelry Center does that too. Find the Jewelry Center in Burlington, Brookfield, and Greenfield, or shop their entire collection online, including their popular Lightbox lab-grown diamonds at shoptjc.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
RJ Schenner has several Toshiba copier printers from James Imaging Systems. IT manager Gabe Colasari.
The reason why for James Imaging is their responsiveness, dedication, knowledge of the product, and they always make sure that the customer is taken care of.
The kind of customer service you'd expect from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company like James Imaging Systems.
We actually have a high-end printing machine on site, so we produce our own catalogs, so we need the support to handle that.
James Imaging Systems. Better document imaging technology, better service.
When we've got a problem, we're able to call in and get it rectified or corrected without any issues.
Gabe, any advice to other local businesses?
Contact James. I mean, they'll take care of you.
James Imaging Systems. Reliable document imaging technology, extraordinary local service. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Trust the auto experts at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You know us for tires and batteries, trust and care, offering unbeatable deals on name brand automotive supplies and service. Like 20% off select floor mats, seat covers, and steering wheel covers. Rewards members buy any 2, get a steering wheel cover free. 5-quart jugs of Valvoline synthetic motor oil, just $22.99 after $10 mail-in rebate. And McGuire's car wash, wax, or interior protectant spray is just $9.99.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio, you the Scalzo and Brust family. Calling, texting 844-770-3776. Terry in the 920 says leasing a vehicle is stupid. That definitely fits with what Ben does. Is that true? I've never leased a vehicle before.
I mean, do you want me to bury Terry?
I don't want you to bury Terry. I'm just bringing it up as more of a topic for everybody, not when you're super special Ben Brust.
I mean, honestly, if you have the ability to own a car and you don't have to have car payments, you save a little bit more money. It's really a preference.
Ron in the Key says, imagine how much Ben wouldn't like flying if he was tall, and I think that's inappropriate. You're taller than Ron, right?
No, Ron's taller than me.
Ooh.
Why do you think I'm going to be insulted by that?
I'm insulted by that.
Taller than you.
Yeah, but everybody is.
I'm taller than you.
Everybody is. That's easy.
Tower
though.
over you.
I wouldn't say that. 800-990-ESPN, the number to get into the show. Keyshawn Johnson on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Nailed it. Mornings on ESPN Madison. Had this to say, Keyshawn Johnson, about Matt LaFleur heading into this season.
I know Aaron Rodgers isn't there, but I don't think it's going to matter in the end. If they don't show some sort of promise, some sort of give, something, if they go out there and they look like the team from a year ago, regardless to who the quarterback is, I can see where they decide to do something different in Green Bay.
I think that's quite interesting, especially when you think about like the amount of times that we talked about the team last year and like the practice habits that were talked about. Like, they weren't a good team, and Matt LaFleur had won 13 games 3 straight years in a row. And so you go 8-9. To me, promise and like give, like I think it's what you see from an effort and energy perspective. Because if you think about it, the Packers and Lions had the same record, but the reason why everyone's talking about the Lions is just because they had an identity, right? They are going to run the football. They had Jamal Williams. They had DeAndre Swift. Jared Goff had a good season. They were explosive offense at home. So you kind of knew what they were. I think it's important for Matt LaFleur to establish an identity as a coach because, again, everyone wanted to crap on Matt LaFleur. He's kind of gone through this offseason in a great way because all the attention's been on Gooten Rodgers. And now it's on this Packers team to perform. And I put a lot of this on how Matt LaFleur, Matty Mouse LaFleur, as I call him, was going to lead this team.
Yeah, I think there's some pressure on Matt LaFleur. I look at it in a more Machiavellian way in the sense that...
What the hell does that mean?
In the sense that... See if you can put it together with context clues. In the sense that we know Murphy's here for another 2 years. That means Goody's going to be here for another 2 years. If this team underachieves in the eyes of Goot, does he then say, all right, I've got one more year to sort of make this work with Jordan Love or without Jordan Love? And do I make the decision to bring in another coach to try to spark things, to try to change things? Because back-to-back seasons where you under-deliver is a reflection of the coach. And I think last year, the lack of identity, who is this team, if he fails to get this offense right. Now, those guys we know, like Goody doesn't value LaFleur's opinions on player personnel. We know that. Those guys aren't arm in arm. They're not Matt Arnold, Craig Counsell. They're not, a GM and a coach that are consistently collaborating to build the same sort of team. I would wonder if Goody all of a sudden uses that coaching change to basically try to either spark the team or to give himself a little bit more time.
Yeah, see, I thought about the job security thing when it came to Goot and if he were to ever make a move on the floor after the season. But I think Goot, no matter what happens with Matt LaFleur, it's all about Jordan Love for me. Like, if Jordan Love doesn't the same way that Key is talking about the promise, give, and something about Matt LaFleur is the same way that I think we're all looking at Jordan Love and trying to figure out the best way to analyze and figure out the effectiveness that he'll be at quarterback. If he's effective at quarterback and he shows promise, Goot's in a good place. But I honestly don't think that if Jordan Love's bad, right? And then you say, all right, well, we have the first that we're going to get from the Jets if Rodgers plays 65% of the games. We got our first next year, and if we're bad, we can maybe package those up and move up and draft a quarterback. That doesn't mean that Goot's off the hook. You know what I mean? Goot's put them in this situation where he traded away a Hall of Fame quarterback because he wanted to move on to see Jordan Love. And if they're in that situation, I don't think a change of a coach at the end of this year is going to change Goody's history.
800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN, the number to get into the show. Does Matt LaFleur have the hottest seat right now? And I think he does. I think you've got Jordan Love for 2 years. I think you've got Goot for 2 years. I think LaFleur is the one person that I could look at and say, hey, is it possible that they make this move after he had a bad offense in 2022 with Aaron Rodgers coming off of back-to-back MVPs. You could blame Rodgers for that, but then you've got Jordan Love, the guy that you were celebrating the drafting of the night that he was drafted and had 3 years to develop him as a guy who's known somewhat for his offensive prowess, and I don't think there's a single quarterback that's directly tied to Matt LaFleur as a guy that he's individually developed. Maybe I'm missing it over time. Yeah. He was in Atlanta with Matt Ryan when Matt Ryan was good, but that's more on Kyle Shanahan.
But
gets
you can
more
also
credit
give
there.
him credit for the Aaron Rodgers two
Resurgence.
MVPs.
Yeah, I would agree. So I think he's the one that probably has the most to lose if this team underachieves this season. Benny, tell us about the work you're doing at the Princeton Club.
Got it in with Maddie this morning. I'm not going to lie. Yep, go ahead.
That's what she said.
Yeah, Maddie.
Check-in challenge is amazing because I swiped my card, a little beep, beep. Every check-in at the Princeton Club is creating a food donation to local food pantries. So come work out, improve your health, improve your better tomorrow, but also improve your community's better tomorrow. That's what you get by just popping into the Princeton Club.
Pop, pop.
Boom, ding, ding, boom. And it's just an amazing feeling knowing that what I'm working on, I'm also making a difference in others' lives. So weights, cardio, workout classes, they have basketball courts, they have free childcare with the membership. They arm you with all the tools you need to be successful at a fitness club. And it is a club. It's a community. And I feel that when I walk in, and it keeps me coming back for more. I just did my in-body scan, and it's been 1 year since I started. And to see the progress of where I started to where I am now keeps me coming back for more. For a better tomorrow, join the Princeton Club.
800-990-3776. Play a little schedule game next. It's Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
An earlier accident on 894 southbound at Beloit Road has been cleared out of the way, and the one on 894 westbound at Loomis that was in the right lane, that's now off on the right shoulder. It's still there. It's still being worked on, but at least it's out of traffic. We've also got one on 4394 southbound right on the high-rise bridge just past the smokestacks, off on the right shoulder. Things backing up all the way back through the Marquette, all the way up to Capitol Drive, actually before Capitol Drive. Westbound 94 going to be a slow one right out of the Marquette through the Stadium interchange to Mitchell Boulevard. And eastbound 94 slowing down from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with rain likely a quarter inch to a half inch possible, a high of 63. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. Guys, did you know that the stored belly fat reduces your free testosterone? The more the belly grows, the harder it is to drop, mostly because of the decrease in free T. It's a vicious cycle that men are losing, and unfortunately, everyone can see it. Mentality breaks that cycle with semaglutide, an industry-changing weight loss medication that can help you lose up to 15% of your body weight while preserving your testosterone. Join our over 20,000 clients to look and feel the way you deserve. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
Party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra
party, baby.
on 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
I'm Ben Brust alongside Greg Scalzo.
Sort of.
You're on stream, you know I'm lying. Do you think he forgot it was the 2-minute break?
1,000%. Has no idea.
Do you think he's talking to somebody right now?
Yeah, I felt like I just heard his voice.
I thought I heard it when I heard his voice. I was like, all right, I'm going on, because that's exactly where we're at right now.
He's got the gift of gab.
Come again?
The gift of gab.
To tie a loose end here, Machiavellian.
Yes.
What does that mean? I couldn't put the context clues together.
You know what we do here? I'm going to have you look that up. So can you talk and type while you do the same thing?
Yeah, I can do that, as the schedule for the NFL is already released, but there will be an official release coming later tonight on television. You can join us with some specialty program coming up at 6 o'clock. I'm looking up Machiavellian right now, Greg Scalzo. We welcome back into the program.
Did you find it?
Machiavellian.
How are you spelling it?
M-O-C-H? Am I already wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were wrong in the second letter.
M-O-K.
Second letter.
M?
Mock?
Are you going M-O-C-K? Like, no, it's mock.
M-A-U?
Oh, heavens to Betsy. Have you ever seen something that travels Mach 3 as a speed?
There was a razor for years that was like literally in every commercial break of every live sporting event was for the Mach 3 razor. M-A-C-H.
I got there right now, but I'm just saying you guys are being a little critical here on the word mock.
Well, all right. I mean, this isn't like, I'm not using a word that...
all right, well, what do
I don't know. Should I be disappointed in him or not here?
What do I do
I
after
didn't expect
M-A-C-H?
you to know this, but it's a fairly common term. We're not going to stop the whole show while you Google something. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776, the number to get into the show. The NFL schedule release coming up following us here on Scalzo and Brust, starting at around 6 o'clock. Gabe Neitzel going to be running that show. I apologize. Let's get right into the schedule game. So last year, Ben Brust had the Packers at 16-0, winning every single game.
No, 16-0-1, 17-game season.
Did they tie one? You had them tie?
Yeah, I always have a tie every year, just in case.
Okay. This year, we're going to run through the schedule. Ben Brust going to offer his predictions.
Here we go. First game of the week, week 1, September 10th at Chicago Bears. In that 325 slot, Justin Fields. New ownership in town. Jordan Love. The Packers surprise all and get all the hopes of Packer fans going. 1-0 in the division, 1-0 in the NFC. Packers 1-0 against the Bears. Then they travel on down to Atlanta to play in a boring noon game. I'm not going to lie. Desmond Ridder versus Jordan Love is not at top of my want-to-watch list. But again, I think some rookie hiccups in the first road game of the season, Mercedes-Benz Dome, Stadium, whatever they call it. It's really nice and big, really shiny. I see a fall there. I see 1-1. Then at home against the New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr, the most average quarterback of all time, against Jordan Love. I just don't believe in the Saints. I think the Saints are frauds. I think the Packers get it done. Am I talking myself into a Packers over already? Holy cow, Packers 2-1. Then Detroit on Thursday Night Football on a short week. Jordan Love's first Thursday night game on a short week. I got a loss against the Lions at home. I got a loss 2-2 right now as they head out to face the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, here's why I got a 2-3 right here. 2-3 because you have the youngest team in the NFL. You know what happens in Vegas. I know what happens in Vegas. They're going to have to get out in Vegas on a Monday Night Football game. That's an extra day out in Vegas to get in some trouble. I see a hangover, no pun intended, for the Green Bay Packers. 2-5.
You fully meant the pun.
Fully meant the pun. Out to Denver, they get it done. Russell Wilson is going to be Rasul Douglas's best friend at the end of that game. I see 2 picks in that game, one from Rasul, one from, let's go with Rudy Ford. Rudy. Then we go at home against the Minnesota Vikings. That's a loss, 3-4 for the Green Bay Packers. Rams at home. Just a weird game. It's a trap game. This is an absolute trap game. Think you're going to beat them. Feels like really easy. I'm going to go with the loss here, 3-5 against the Los Angeles Rams. Then we go to Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, way better coach than Matt LaFleur. Good defense, good identity. I'm going to go 3-6 now with the loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Out! Back home in Green Bay against the Los Angeles Chargers. You got Justin Herbert, a real pill slinger. Can Jordan Love keep up with the pill slings? I see an offensive showdown that the Packers fall short. 3-7. At Detroit on Thanksgiving. You know who's going to be nice and full? Me, watching this game. Detroit Lions, 11:30, early start. Snooze fest. 3-11 for the Green Bay Packers. I tricked you when I said I was going to go with the over. Oh, now you're at home against Kansas City. I ain't going to talk about that one. 3-12. New York Giants on the road. Tough place to play. Rookie quarterback or first-year quarterback in Jordan Love, trying to be what Daniel Jones is. 3-12. Then you go home. I'll give you a win against Tampa Bay. At Carolina, sure, give you a win, building some momentum. Then you face the Minnesota Vikings at home the end of the season. At Minnesota, 5-12 are the Green Bay Packers.
You didn't do the last game against the Bears.
I didn't see that one.
He's been saying the numbers wrong the entire time. It's been bothering me so much. It's hard to
keep up. And then I thought I was missing it, and didn't happen.
My check marks are all off.
5-12.
1, 2, 3.
What happens in the
4,
last
5.
game? I think you're
They lose the last game?
Yeah.
Benny's got him at 5-12 doing the schedule game. Gary from Janesville just says Ben must be high AF. What's AF?
Don't ask that. That's a bad question to set somebody up with.
5-12 for Ben Brust on the schedule game. I'm not far off. I got him at 6 wins when I ran through the schedule game. There's a sneaky hard run.
There's a really hard run in the middle there, Ross.
In the middle of the
can't find these
season
wins.
Where that first Vikings game, and I think the Broncos are going to be a better team than they were last year. I don't think Russell Wilson is that guy for the rest of his career. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and this is just who he is now. But that Broncos, Vikings, Rams, Steelers, Chargers, at Lions on Thanksgiving, Chiefs, then at Giants on Monday Night Football, that's a tough stretch. I think they could get up to 7-8 wins. They need to stack them early, though.
The Rams are going to have AFL guys on their team.
The Rams, I agree, but I agree. They've got a good coach, and I think Stafford and Kupp is still enough where, they could drive you crazy, but there's some ugly holes on that team. My point is, looking at this, that Bears, Falcons, Saints, home against the Lions on a short week, Raiders, those first 5 games before the bye are going to be huge in figuring out what this team is and what this season is.
We're going to know quick. I had him at 17-0. I couldn't find the loss.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
How'd they beat the Chiefs?
Jordan Love, pill slings all over the place.
You're
secondary.
punch drunk on.
No, he's not punch drunk. Well, on the pill slings lately, I agree. He doesn't even believe it. Like the voice that he had there on the Chiefs one, he doesn't even believe the lie that he's telling. And as you know, it's important that you believe.
Okay, 16-1.
Okay,
I believe that.
I believe you believe that it could be 16-1, but they ain't beating Mahomes on the road.
They'll get him in the Super Bowl.
Josh DiMaggio, he's smart. Speaking of smart, our friends at...
You said you didn't really pick.
Yeah, it's to conserve time.
I didn't pick what?
The games.
Oh, you just rolled. I thought it was going to be like a back and... Didn't you, Joshy?
I thought that's what was going to happen, and then I thought you guys discussed it together.
I just wanted Ben to start off because I needed to give myself 30 seconds to start going. I wrote them all down next to you in case, as we went along, you could see it here on the stream on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust.
And then I messed up the order, and you're like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's why I was so confused. So I thought it was going to be a back and forth thing. By the end of it, we're kind of up against it. We've got over-under coming up next. And then I just gave the record that I ultimately had, which was only 1 game better than you. And my big takeaway, which was they had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game losing streak right there. And they lost, 7 out of 8 games in the middle of the season. I'm like, man, They need to beat the Bears, Atlanta, right off the bat. I think New Orleans is going to be a little bit tougher, and then you're home against Detroit. But you get both of those at home. They need to split those at least. If you can start out 3-1 as the Green Bay Packers, now all of a sudden you're going to be able to get a little bit of confidence, and maybe you could steal one of those midseason. You start out 1-3. And, give a win or a loss on that Monday night game in Vegas. Coming out of that bye, that's going to be a whole different story.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I just lost my train of thought because I got caught up in that. What was I going to add?
Smart spaces. Let me tell you about the smart spaces here. I literally started there, and you got right in.
Smart spaces.
I'm waiting for Josh to do a drop. Did you miss it?
My button wasn't.
All right. Well, you can use it again. There we go. That worked too. Smart spaces, they help make your company's space smarter, more technologically integrated, and able to perform beautifully across all virtual meeting environments. And that's what you need in today's virtual world. You got hybrid employees. You got virtual employees. You've got in-person. How do you make it all work? You make it work with Smart Spaces. That's who helped us with our build-out in the ESPN Milwaukee offices in downtown Milwaukee, the 3rd Street Market Hall. Every room you go into now equipped with cameras. They've got microphones there. You don't have to plug in. Everything is connected through the software that your company works with. Because Smart Spaces gets you the right technology for the right reasons. They've got a listen-first culture where they'll learn your business's needs and then provide seamless solutions for your office. It's what they did for us. It's what they can do for you. See how you can improve your business today at smartspaceswi.com. That's smartspaceswi.com. Caller 4. No, let's go caller 8 and caller 10. How about that, Benny? Caller 8 and caller 10. Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Lowe. We're playing a little over-under par here coming up next on Scalzo and Brust. Here's how the game works. Josh DiMaggio has a category. We don't know what it is. He's applied an over-under line. We don't know what that is either. Based on how many correct answers Ben and I will get out of 10 guesses within 3 minutes. Caller number 8, you get to decide if you believe in us or not. You say over or under. Caller 10, you're stuck on the other side. Winner wins 4 passes to play the beautiful Wild Rock Golf Course in the Wisconsin Dells. Over
Sounds
under
amazing.
par coming up next. Caller 8, caller 10, 800-990-ESPN. It is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
I just don't think you're cut out to be a great host in these spots.
That cut deep.
That was
I don't
tough.
think that cuts deep.
No, it does.
You're a good guest.
That was rude.
What?
No, come on.
Ben.
Greg.
What are we doing?
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
An earlier accident on 894 southbound at Beloit Road has been cleared out of the way, and the one on 894 westbound at Loomis that was in the right lane, that's now off on the right shoulder. It's still there. It's still being worked on, but at least it's out of traffic. We've also got one on 4394 southbound right on the high-rise bridge just past the smokestacks, off on the right shoulder. Things backing up all the way back through the Marquette, all the way up to Capitol Drive, actually before Capitol Drive. Westbound 94 going to be a slow one right out of the Marquette through the Stadium Interchange to Mitchell Boulevard. And eastbound 94 slowing down from 76th Street through the Stadium Interchange as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with rain likely at 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch possible, a high of 63. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Even when you think you know what's going on, you can never be too sure.
All right, Dave in the car. Dave.
I think I'm right.
You're not.
Gabe, I think I'm right.
You're not. I have the list in front of me. You're not.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
Well, his first name isn't D. His last name is B.
It is still not right.
Ashley, who we got?
Drew Bledsoe?
David and Paul.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Ben Brust here for my favorite racetrack in North America, and that is Road America. Race fans, it's time to make your summer plans for fast family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Experience 10 major races from vintage weekends to high-thrill NASCAR racing at the best NASCAR track in America. Bring the entire family for more affordable fun with on-site camping, free parking, and most of all, free admission for kids 16 and younger. See the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Sunday Night Baseball is back on 94.5 ESPN.
There's a drive to right field, high and deep, down the line it is going, and it is a grand slam home run, and the Red Sox have broken it open.
It's a classic interleague matchup on Sunday in Beantown. The Red Sox host the slumping Cardinals.
A swing and a long drive, left center field, down Sox, got her! 5-4 Cardinals in the ninth.
Our coverage starts at 5 o'clock on Sunday night.
RJ Schinner has several Toshiba copier printers from James Imaging Systems. IT manager Gabe Colasari.
The reason why for James Imaging is their responsiveness, dedication, knowledge of the product, and they always make sure that the customer is taken care of.
The kind of customer service you'd expect from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company like James Imaging Systems.
We actually have a high-end printing machine on site, so we produce our own catalogs, so we need the support to handle that.
James Imaging Systems. Better document imaging technology, better service.
When we've got a problem, we're able to call in and get it rectified or corrected without any issues.
Gabe, any advice to other local businesses?
Contact James. They'll take care of you.
James Imaging Systems. Reliable document imaging technology, extraordinary local service. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
This is our new single. You want to run right out and buy it. Way down to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. Looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw mighty sign. Written by across the heaven, flames black and white. Get prepared, it's gonna be a party tonight. Hey, Saturday night.
Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra on a Grateful Dead Thursday. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio running the show. Ron in the Key chimes in, says the facial hair and Badger flat top. You do have a lot of facial hair right now, Betty.
Yeah, I'm getting a haircut from Joshy's wonderful girlfriend.
But I'm saying the facial hair.
Yeah, and so I was just waiting to shave the face. So
It's like almost a half an inch off your face.
Yeah, it's kind of long.
It's kind of long. Josh, let's fire it up. It's time to play Over Under Par, presented by Wild Rock Golf Course.
Will the guys hit the under, or will they tap dance on Joshy's grave? It's time for Over Under Par on Scalzo and Brust. Presented by Wild Rock Golf Club. Now open for the 2023 season. Go to wildrockgolf.com and make a tee time today.
Here's how the game is played. Josh DiMaggio has a category. We don't know what it is. He's applied an over-under line to that category. We don't know what that is either. Caller number 8, in honor of Aaron Rodgers' new number, which is Jason and Madison, was told both. He believes in us, Benny. Of course he does. The official and unofficial bodyguard of the Scalzo and Brust family.
Jason and Madison.
That means caller number 10 is stuck on the other side. Josh in Oregon, winner again, wins 4 passes to the beautiful Wild Rock Golf Course. Joshy, what do we have this week?
This week, since Jordan Love is going to be making his first NFL start, well, not first, his first as the official quarterback, I'm looking for the 10 quarterbacks with the most games played of all time. The over-under is 6.5.
The most games played of any quarterback of all time. Wow. 6.5. All right. Tell us when you want to start it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Tom Brady final.
Tom Brady is first with 335.
Aaron Rodgers final.
Hold on, what are you doing?
How is he not on the list?
He didn't play for 3 years of his career.
There's still 15 years.
Yeah, but he missed some time. Let's
Matt
go.
Ryan?
No, just hold on.
I didn't say final.
Okay. How about Brett Favre, who had the Iron Man streak? Brett Favre, final answer.
Brett Favre is obviously second on the list with 302.
Out of all the Packers, I think Elway might be up there.
What about Breeze?
I don't know about Breeze. Elway, what do you think about that? He played for a very long time. You got to think about those quarterbacks that played until they were very old. I think Peyton Manning could be up there.
I'm just writing stuff down right now as I collect myself after the snap.
For some
Rodgers
reason,
test.
I feel like Vinny Testaverde might be up there because he
2
played so
minutes.
late into his career. Let's go Elway, final answer.
Yikes.
Okay.
Peyton Manning? Final?
Peyton Manning's fourth with 266.
Montaigne?
Is it like Fran Tarkenton? Joe Montana might not be a bad one. Played for a while with San Fran. Let's try it.
Joe Montaigne.
No, he had some bad injuries. Let's go Drew Brees. Why not? He played until he was old. Brees, final answer.
Brees is third.
Oh no, Josh is gonna dance on us. What are we, Josh? 3 of 6?
You guys are.
Brees is third. So we got to think.
You threw out Vinny Testaverde.
Testaverde, yeah. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he used to play for the Jets.
Yeah.
1
Played for
minute.
a long time.
1 minute. This isn't good. What about I don't know, old quarterbacks?
I said Fran Tarkenton, but I have no idea. Ben Roethlisberger, I feel he played for a long time and he didn't miss a lot of games.
Big Ben, final.
Big Ben's sixth on the list with 249.
Do you not like my Matt Ryan?
I don't love your Matt Ryan. But Phillip Rivers.
Nice.
Came in the same year as Big Ben. I think he played longer, right?
Third, he's second.
Phillip Rivers, final answer.
He's eighth with 244.
Eli Manning?
I thought about him because I think he is on that list.
Eli Manning, final answer.
We need one more.
No.
10,
Still,
9, 8,
No, you guys got
7.
it.
Did we get it?
Yeah. Yep.
5, 4.
Yeah, you guys got it.
All right.
Hey, hang on.
We got Brady.
Brady, Favre, Manning, Breeze, Ben, Rivers, Eli.
That's for you, Jason and Madison. That was a grind.
That was scary.
Those early, to mid 2000 quarterbacks actually really, once we hit the first one.
Did you know that the word all time was going to throw us off?
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Because I immediately was
How
trying to
far
think,
off is an Elway?
They
or do you want to have the
they
top
were
10?
close.
Okay.
I didn't add
Can you give us the top 10?
I saw the top 10 is Brady, Favre, Breeze, Manning, Peyton, Earl Morrill.
Never would have gotten that.
I knew you wouldn't. Ben Roethlisberger, Fran Tarkenton, 7th with 246.
I just know he was old when he, you know what I
Right.
mean?
He was ancient while he was playing.
But they only played shorter seasons back then, 14 games.
Phillip Rivers was 8th, Dan Marino was 9th, and Eli Manning was 10th. Rodgers will be on this
Marino.
list, eventually here.
For sure, but he's still playing. That's kind of the same my thought with Matt Ryan, too.
He's like a season behind Eli Manning right now.
Yeah.
Well, if he plays 65% of the snaps and helps the Green Bay Packers get a first-round pick.
That's correct.
I like delivering for Jason and Madison.
I like delivering for any of the Scalzo and Rust family members who believe in us, but as you said, not sure if anybody believes in us as much as our guy Jason Madison, the official bodyguard of the Scalzo and Rust family. Enjoy those golf passes to the beautiful Wild Rock Golf Course to our guy Jason. 800-990-3776 on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. We have the schedule release special show coming up with Gabe Neitzel starting at 6 o'clock across ESPN Wisconsin. We already know the schedule for the most part, we think, right? Hasn't been officially released, but it seems like all the reporters are going with this as if it's fact. The Packers open up the season at Chicago against the Bears at Soldier Field. We want to know on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust what you would set the line at if you were the bookmaker yourself. I want to get back to the Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst conversation and really focus on two of those guys, Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. How much of Jordan Love's success or lack thereof next season is going to be tied to Matt LaFleur? We'll hit it next. It's Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra. But first, let me tell you about American Family Insurance. AmFam.com to find your local American Family Insurance agent. Jordan Love was insurance for this Packers team for a long time, and he was important insurance in case something went wrong with Aaron Rodgers. Now, it didn't over a long term, but if you're getting ready to be a first-time homeowner, you can bet your bottom dollar that you're going to need to submit a claim at some point in your life as a homeowner. And when that moment happens, you're going to want to have a local agent, somebody you have a relationship with, somebody you have trust with, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that can help you guide you through every step of the way in order for you to get your claim submitted, realized, and ultimately taken care of. That was my experience with American Family Insurance. Not only do they help you on the back end with that, they help you on the front end with amazing tools like their digital home quoting tool, coverages that fit your specific needs. And remember, when you protect both your home and auto, you can save up to 28%. So find your local American Family Insurance agent at amfam.com. Scalzo and Brust, next.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Was it known that you were going to make margaritas? Austin here says no.
One would assume that the Marg guy is going to make margaritas.
The Marg guy, I go
self-proclaimed.
Yeah, thanks, Joshy.
But it's a thing.
But that's just in your personal life.
Your head.
No, Austin knows this.
I never would have thought of Ben as the Marg guy.
I don't care what you think.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Well, we got some big delays southbound 43 heading down from Hampton all the way down into the Marquette. Our earlier accident on the high-rise bridge has been cleared out of the way. 894 westbound still slow out of the Mitchell interchange past Loomis, but that accident is gone as well. Some big delays heading through on 794 eastbound from the Marquette to about Lincoln Memorial Drive. We got word that somebody was trying to move their yacht, and it's kind of tying everything up on Lincoln Memorial Drive. So that's a roadway you're going to want to avoid this afternoon. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with rain likely, a high of 63. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Cedar Ridge Distillery continues to make a home right here in Wisconsin. The original 86 bourbon is the best-selling bourbon in Iowa for 3 straight years, and you have the opportunity to get that here in Wisconsin. Also, the quintessential, the best American single malt, voted by John Barleycorn Awards, and Cedar Ridge manages every step of the production from grain to glass. Make sure you pick up the Scalzo and Brust private barrel of bourbon and rye whiskeys, available at Discount Liquor at 51st in Oklahoma or Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha.
Experience the rebirth of an American treasure in Oconomowoc. The club at Lac La Belle is open. The redesigned course is one of Wisconsin's finest tracks at the heart of the Wisconsin Golf Trail. Named Best New Wisconsin Course in 2021 by Golf Digest. The club at Lac La Belle is open to the public 7 days a week. Schedule your tee time today at club@laclabelle.com. See what everyone is talking about. The club at Lac La Belle is a place to experience over and over again. Go to club@laclabelle.com to start your journey.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Have you taken a look? Do you see what's coming up on the calendar? Are you prepared? Did you already get a gift, or are you predictably behind on your Mother's Day shopping? Let us help take your gift giving for mom up a notch. A gift basket from the Home Market, a $100 gift card to Benson's Restaurant Group, and of course, a big bouquet from Welke's Milwaukee Florist can all be yours to share with mom. Visit Welke'sMothersDay.com and register through May 11th. Make sure mom knows how appreciated she is this year thanks to Welke's Milwaukee Florist. Official contest rules are available at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Life is supposed to be fun. With Best Burger Awards in the trophy case, peanuts raining from the ceiling, and boozy custard shakes, AJ Bombers is just plain fun. Located on Water Street in downtown Milwaukee, AJ Bombers is the perfect place for pregame grub. Prefer to watch the game from a bar stool? Enjoy great views from multiple flat-screen TVs while you cheer on Milwaukee's home teams with a smash-style burger and fried cheese curds. Visit AJ Bombers on Water Street or check out ajbombers.com.
It's a Brewers game day on 94.5 ESPN. Tonight, the Crew looks to tame the Tigers in interleague action at AmFam Field.
Pitch. Telez, a drive out to right center field. Racing back is Hernandez. That ball is gone.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6:05, and stick around after the game for Brewers Extra Innings.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry, here to tell you about Ridgetop Exterior's most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
What a Grateful Dead Thursday it is here on Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. He is Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Twitter at Scalzo and Brust as well. Benny's feeling the music.
Yeah, I'm gearing up for June 9th, boys. June freaking 9th. I told you, I took PTO. We're going to Dead & Company at Wrigley. It's a Grateful Dead Thursday. I'm feeling the vibes. John Mayer and company going to be putting it down for me. I'm
not say John Mayer and company. You're making yourself a fraud right now.
But here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a Deadhead. Do I enjoy the
Nobody's asking you to.
I'm just saying, do I enjoy the Grateful Dead? Absolutely.
I'm just saying, don't refer to them as John Mayer and company. It's unbecoming.
What's your plan for getting tickets to Friday? You don't seem like a guy who's gonna buy secondhand. Like that seems like something different.
I thought you guys were on this, and I was.
He's gonna get a hookup. I'm sure, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. At some point,
I'll fall flat on my face to a hookup.
On Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. Somebody probably listening right now is like, I got 2 tickets to Scalzo and Brust on Twitter says, is it romantic to get engaged at the Lincoln Memorial? I had no idea you guys put this up. You asked me if we should put this up. I said no.
Don't be above it.
In case you don't know, Jesse Nelson is currently celebrating the anniversary of his engagement in Washington, D.C. at the spot he got engaged to. He got engaged to his now wife, which is the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. 83% of the Scalzo and Brust family said no, it is not romantic to get engaged at the Lincoln Memorial. I disagree. I think it is beautiful and romantic.
That pond, that's so nice.
Those pillars just scream love.
Jeff chimes in and says, do you want a romantic place in Wisconsin?
Sure.
Nothing that says love like the Harley-Davidson Museum. I agree. We love the Harley-Davidson Museum.
Are you kidding me?
You're right on the river. It's beautiful out there. You got the Motor Bar and Grill. You've got the museum. Everything right there. I agree. I totally agree. Ron in the Key says, where's Ben planning it? Over, under 1 year. Ron, that's completely inappropriate.
Why does he have to turn everything into a gambling experience?
Well, we know. And then we get to our main topic. Whose seat is hotter in 2023? Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, or Jordan Love? Goody leads the way at 48%. Matt LaFleur at 35%. Jordan Love at 16%. However, when you really break it down, I think Love and LaFleur are going to be tied pretty heavily together.
Yeah, I am first off, real quick on this poll, shocked that LaFleur's behind Goody because of what we've talked about. Mark Murphy is going to be the president until the end of 2024. Then he will retire in the summer, which means Goody's got a 2-year window with his president. Matt LaFleur, coaches come and go a little bit quicker. Like we just saw it when it came to Mike Budenholzer. He won a championship no less than 2 years ago. No less than 2 years ago. But I'm just very curious as to how Matt LaFleur sets Jordan Love up to be successful. Because all the same people who wanted Aaron Rodgers gone were all the people that said, oh, well, I can't wait to see what Matt LaFleur will do with somebody who will run his offense. Okay, well, if we're going to see Matt LaFleur run his offense, then what are you expecting out of Jordan Love? Because if Matt LaFleur has had a 13-win season not running his offense, then what's Matt LaFleur's offense going to look like? It might look like Joshie's 17-0 prediction at that rate.
I didn't deserve that.
I'm just, you see, this is, you clearly don't believe in your schedule game prediction. You had no gumption right there. But Matt LaFleur is supposed to be the guy that came as a Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, right? We've seen the success that those guys have had. What is Matt LaFleur going to do without a Hall of Fame quarterback? Because it's a fair question to ask. Greg, I honestly think in 2020, if you had Nathaniel Hackett and the rest and Mike Pettin and the rest of the staff underneath you, you could have coached the team 13 wins. Honestly, they were that good in 2020.
14 maybe.
Yeah, wouldn't put. You know what? You probably would have held a couple people more accountable than Matty Mouse did.
Special teams would have been better, that's for sure.
That is for damn sure.
It's my specialty right there.
You cut Amari Rodgers before he could breathe the next time he fumbled a football.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776.
I hate to make you out like such a...
Pete McGuanago chimes in and says, Jesse Nelson, ... What a dork. Chad from Edgerton said, do you think Jesse proposed to his girlfriend by saying, 7 years ago when we met...
Can we get a call? Can we get a call in from Jesse, Josh? I want him to reenact the proposal live on air in front of Lincoln Memorial.
I don't think we're going to get that today. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. In the response to whose seat is hotter, Hooch chimes in and says, got to go with the New York Jets. And Ben Jondal chimes in on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust and says, not sure how a first-year starter with an incredibly young team could be on the hot seat. Anyone voted for Love? Care to explain your rationale?
I can explain it.
Go ahead, Joshy.
Because the Packers made a contract where it makes it very easy for them to move on from him if he's an abject failure. It is his only first year starting, but it's his 4th year in the NFL. So if he's a unmitigated disaster, you can just part ways and move on.
I think that's a big part of it, and I also think that he doesn't have a history of success to go back to, whereas LaFleur, whether you think it or not, has success he could point to with 3 straight 13-win seasons. Gutekunst has success he could point to and say, hey, look at some of my track record. Love is coming in, and we're going to learn a lot about him in his first year.
Like, the thing that gives me...
I still think the answer is LaFleur.
The answer is LaFleur.
But then I would go Jordan Love. And then I would go Brian Gutekunst.
Simply because of the contract? The way, like, because obviously if they pick up his 5th-year option, he wouldn't even be an option. So that's the funny thing about this is for the person that's asking the rationale, like,
I just don't think there's any chance Goody isn't the GM for the next 2 years while Murphy is still the president. And I also think there's no way he's not the GM because, like, he started this rebuild. You're not just going to, after this upcoming year, if the team's not good, just punt on him, are you? Unless Love is that much of an abject failure and all 3 of these guys are gone. It's possible.
It is possible, but I would say unlikely.
I think they're going to get a 2-year window. I think all of them are going to get a 2-year window, quite frankly.
Most likely, but when it comes to Matt LaFleur and being like the hottest on the hot seat, the reason why I go there is Matt LaFleur knew, like, we're in the same situation in terms of being in May, post-draft, free agents done, you know what your wide receivers are, and it just didn't feel like, from an offensive standpoint, you can point to Aaron Rodgers' failures of a bad season, 3,700 yards, and a lower TD to interception ratio than we've seen. It wasn't what the 2021 and the 2020 offense was. And so Aaron Rodgers is a part of that, but it's also part coach too, because they knew that they were going to have weapons, and all I heard was about A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, the two featured backs that they were going to have. And then they roll out them in a two-back set in week 4, like they just invented the annexation of Puerto Rico. And it freaking sucked. And there really wasn't anything other than, all right, we're going to fake handoff to A.J. Dillon and throw a swing pass out to the left to Aaron Jones and see what he can do in space. They didn't really evolve that two-back set. There wasn't a ton of creativity. It was a slant with Allen Lazard. Once Christian Watson got involved, it was get him in space, which isn't, like that requires some coaching. But it's just put him in a successful position where he can maybe take an end around. What's he going to do there? And so with this offense, with a first-year quarterback, you have to have a better plan than you had last year to put these young wide receivers in a position to be successful. Because say what you want about Allen Lazard, Christian Watson being a number 1 wide receiver that's going to be locked up by the number 1 cornerback every single game, that's different than when you got somebody else matching up with you as a secondary wide receiver.
Got to give a shout out to our friends at Pella Windows in Dorset, Wisconsin. That's somebody who's never on the hot seat. Gina Della from Pella, because she's the best of the best. She is MVP. She is first ballot Hall of Fame, and everything that she does, because the team she's built at Pella Windows in Dorset, Wisconsin, is undefeated. I've worked with them a couple times, and I've never been happier with a home contractor. They replaced the windows and doors on my older home. They've been doing work on my newer place here in Milwaukee, where they busted out some windows, put in these beautiful patio doors, paint matched everything, matched the hardware. It looks like it was there from the very beginning. And they continue to work on projects for me because they're so easy to work with. The quality of their product is second to none. And again, the service. Order today and get 0% interest for 4 years. 0% interest, 48 months with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Look at the housing market right now. You're not going to be selling your house anytime soon, right? Because where are you going to move into? You want to reinvest in your house. Take advantage of the market where it's at right now. Upgrade your windows and doors. Get them replaced. Save on energy costs and set yourself up for the future. 0% interest for 48 months. That offer only good through May 31st. Go to PellaWI.com/radio. That's PellaWI.com/radio, or stop by their showroom in Brookfield or on the Beltline in Madison. 800-990-3776. Scalzo and Brust continues next as the schedule release. It gets closer and closer, even if it's already been released.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
If he does get traded.
I really do wonder. What?
It's a pregnant pause. It's very pregnant.
Holy smokes.
Guys.
That was 9 months.
I looked over to make sure he was still breathing.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Greg Scalzo here for 3 Tree Marketing, a full-service branded merchandise agency using creative merchandising to share your company's story. They've got specialized gifting and onboarding kits from 3 Tree, where they handle everything from A to Z, because that's what they always do, from logistics to delivery to order placement and everything in between. They come up with a strategy as an extension of your team. They think outside of the box. These kits, great for new teammates, great for new business partners, great for new clients. They can make it work for you. See what I'm talking about. 3treemarketing.com.
Gabe Neitzel here on the tee, coming up on Monday live from Aaron Hill. Stephen Watson and I going to explain exactly why it is such a special place to us, why we love it, what makes it so special. Plus, with the second major of the year coming, we will preview the PGA all live Monday at Aaron Hills. It begins at 6 p.m. right here on 94.5 ESPN.
On the Tee with Gabe and Steven, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Mondays at 6 on 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? you might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Can LeBron give you a 40-point triple-double if needed?
I think it's way more reasonable in Game 6 to get like a 35 and 18 game from AD. I think you can still get a high 20, almost triple-double from LeBron James. I think the days of LeBron James having 40-plus in a triple-double, I'm not sure we're going to see that game at this level right now.
I say if he needs to take over, I believe he can, Jay. At some point in the game, if he needs to take over.
I believe that too.
If he needs to take over in the fourth quarter, if he needs to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan in the fourth quarter, 100% he can, because he knows that it's all on him. And when you know as an athlete, Jay, when it's all on you and you got to perform at a certain level, you do it.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Braden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery needs to be replaced, our professional parts people can help you find the best Superstart battery for your vehicle and budget. Don't wait. Get your battery tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Scalzo and Brust on a Grateful Dead Thursday, presented by Michelob Ultra. It's a great day for Michelob Ultra. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio, you, the Scalzo and Brust family, young Riley Yauk holding things down.
What up, Yauk?
What up?
Love him.
It's a good one-liner. I don't know if he exists or if Joshy just has buttons back there that he pushes as Riley.
Nice laugh track, Josh.
Yeah, it was pretty good, Josh.
Real quick, Riley, before we get back to the Packers. Did you know Alex Strofe was the worst athlete in the United States of America?
I did not until yesterday afternoon walking in, and that was one of the first things I pulled up on Twitter. It was rough to watch, that's for sure.
Producer Alex Strofe missed a golf ball, stationary golf ball, 8 straight times. He claims it wasn't a bet. It has to be fake.
I love that you had to say stationary golf ball.
I mean, how do you miss it 8 times? It's not like he shanked it, like he didn't touch it. He whiffed 8 straight times. My beloved grandmother, who's long passed, could have hit the ball before he did on the golf course.
I don't know how you want me to.
I'm like trying to think like you could spin, like we could spin Ben around 40 times and ask him to swing, and he'd get it before 8. With the worst case of dizziness on earth.
1,000%. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't know how it's possible that he was that bad. And yet he was. 262 chimes in. Says, I got in late. That's okay. Is Barry part of the hot seat talk? He's talking about Joe Barry. We've got it posted on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. Who's on the hotter seat? Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst, Jordan Love. He says, I think Joe Barry is number one. Offense will get a pass. Yeah, I think Barry's number one too, because if this team starts to be bad and the defense is bad, LaFleur's going to fire Barry. Goody doesn't get to fire LaFleur, which is why I think all of them will be safe, because LaFleur reports up to Murphy. But I do think Murphy would get rid of LaFleur before he got rid of Goody.
I left Barry off on purpose because it would be so clear in a way.
I was going to say, Joe Barry wakes up every day and his ass is on fire.
Is that like you? Does that happen sometimes to you?
It's what my Aquaforce for.
I forgot you used that. It is going to be fun to hear all of the schedule come out later tonight. You've got Gabe Neitzel coming up next across ESPN Wisconsin for the schedule release special.
Jason Wilde will be joining him around 5:30.
Jason Wilde joining about 7 or 6:30. 5:30 happened 23 minutes ago.
6:30 is what I meant.
6:30 he joins. Ben Brust going to be the first guest of the show.
What's going on, guys? We got to get this crap together.
You of all people, you gave me 3 dead fishes during this one segment alone. I made a funny joke about Alex Trophy. You go, how do you want me to transition to that?
Pat on the back to me. I haven't been great either. This team group.
Well, I was trying to get to the schedule. What's the one game you're most excited about? Even though we don't officially know the schedule, we all know the schedule.
So I'm most intrigued of the Detroit Lions game, week 4, because you have the early bye week, week 6. Here's why. We talk about the cupcake start. It's going to be important that you have 2 of your first 4 games within the division. You start out against the Bears, you go to Atlanta, and you're home against New Orleans. You're also then home for Jordan Love's first short week. So you have a short week at home against a divisional opponent in which everyone's raving about the Detroit Lions being close to the Vikings as the favorite to win the division. And as we've discussed, there has to be some sort of aggression with the Lions because their offense was only good at home. So you get the Lions at Lambeau Field, where Jared Goff has not been good outdoors. Then you take into account, it's just...
The Packers season ended last year with the Lions beating them at Lambeau.
I know, but...
with Jared Goff outdoors.
They didn't win
with
because
nothing
they
to play
didn't win
for.
because of offense. Wasn't that game like 20-17?
I mean, yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I will say it's beneficial for the Packers. They get the Lions without Jameson Williams in week 4. He's suspended 6 games for gambling. So that will certainly help. But, yeah,
it's just such an intriguing part of their schedule.
We're looking too far on it, and I know that, like, it's the Bears.
It's the schedule
I'm saying it's the Bears. It's the Bears. They start the season with the Bears. They end the season with the Bears. For the first time since probably 2008 when Aaron Rodgers took over, and it was probably a short time during that season, and previous to that, 1992, it's the first time where the Bears are going to feel like, hey, can we get up on the Packers? Can we start to dominate this rivalry? The rivalry that's talked about as the most legendary in all of football. They feel like they can get the Packers now. They've got Justin Fields. They're starting the ascent. The Packers, meanwhile, are in a what do we have mode right now in the team-building phases.
I hate when you're right because guess what? If the Bears win week 1 against there's been a lot of times where I've been trying to hold my ground and be like, Greg's wrong. This one, Greg's right. Greg's right about this one. What? I'm going to give him credit here because here's the thing.
You always give in.
No, I don't. I haven't given in as much recently. Just give me that, Joshy. I give in a lot. I haven't given in this much. If the Bears beat the Lions, or if the Bears beat the Packers in week 1 after being owned by Aaron Rodgers, I still see tweets from people around Chicago talking about like how happy they are. Like one of the happiest days of Bears fans' lives was when Schefter reported that Rodgers reportedly wanted out. Now, he played for the Packers a couple years after that, but that was a moment in which Bears fans were seeing the light away from Rodgers. If Bears fans beat Love, they will have this confidence that I don't want to deal with or hear about. So it is a big game.
And they're going to have the entirety of the season until January where they're talking smack the entire year. The season is bookended with games against the Bears. It starts against the Bears. It ends against the Bears.
I want to see Devontae and the Rattlesnake head-to-head.
Ooh, Jair
Raiders
versus Devontae Adams?
That the Packers should be able to beat. They're in transition.
Do you want to see it? Because I'm a little worried that the Rattlesnake's going to get exposed.
You were down on the Rattlesnake last year.
Yeah, he played terribly for half the season.
Bounce back year?
Big time.
With no expectations on this Green Bay Packers team. He's going to play his best.
Coming up next, you've got Gabe Neitzel leading the way, captaining the ship, shepherding the masses as the NFL schedule release special comes up next.